So, it's been a while, but I am back with Marble Invite Season 3's recap. Yes, I know I'm really late right now, especially since Marble Invite Season 4's teams have already been revealed, but I also wanted to be able to finish at least one project that I actually set my mind to, and it's gonna be this one from the looks of it. Marble Invite Season 3 was an amazing season, but you all already knew that. You just want to see me slander some teams, and I think I'm gonna do that now.
Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Pesky told me to go easy on the Green Dragons. I, of course, said, okay. I lied. Look, I'd love for this to be different, but the Green Dragons only got 4 top half finishes in the whole season. That's tied for the lowest with the Jolts and, Pastry Party. Sure, Festus over there got gold in the elimination race, but your best finish outside of that was 8th. In fact, in the first 8 events and Event 10, all of your finishes were between 8th and 11th, with 4 9th place finishers. If you were any midder, I'd have to call you P-Mine Tunnel. Oh, and don't think I forgot about block pushing. The best push of the event, combined with a terrible push and 2 invalid runs. It cannot be that hard to keep the block stable. The fucking Berry Blasters got that right. 3 seasons, and not a single top half finish for PMC. At least there's been some improvements. Maybe Season 4 will go well for Team Oasis.
When you fall screaming from an open window.
The Scorp squad had a rough start to the season, with them dumpster diving with fellow Algodo team John Jolts. However, things went well with a silver in the relay, and after this, you started doing much better. That's a relief since you look very similar to the John Jolts. Luckily, you weren't seen with the Jolts often since you can actually advance. What do you mean that joke doesn't work? What do you mean the John Jolts usually advanced often in events too? Anyway, your final set of events had you finishing in the top half. Well, that or you didn't finish at all. The Scorperiors showed that VKL is no slouch, even in the real world. Wow, that was incredibly unimpressive. You performed like you didn't get 223 points in your first season. Honestly, this makes me want to invite Baby Mario's Marble games just so the Darklights can somehow get last overall with 4 points. After silver, you seemingly just disappeared. No more double-digit point finishes, spending multiple events in last, and overall just stinking it up in the basement. Some teams are good, some teams are great, and some teams are electric energy. I know this was in a positive context, but this quote by Ramen aged both poorly and amazingly. For the earliest parts of the Marble Invites talk show, I relentlessly made fun of you. Was it just because Quack told Flora to call me stinky in the episode? Yeah, 100%. I actually am that petty. Unfortunately, the joke isn't funny now, and the King Crabs did well. You immediately made an impact by winning a silver in your first event. Well, I say make an impact, but Spenny completely disregarded your run at first, so maybe it wasn't that crazy, I don't know. You also didn't gain much momentum from it, since you near instantly got 3 bottom 4 finishes and fell to the mid-pack, where you stayed for the middle part of the season. But then, some switch activated in your minuscule-sized crab brain in the final third. Bronze medal, silver medal, 13th place, we'll ignore that one, and finally, gold. And who better to bring it home than Oh my god, what happened to you? You look like you watched a modern Fubeca Marble Runs video. It's okay, they can't hurt you now. Anyway, it was a great season, and it would be cool to see you come back in a later year after the Ivy League and 4K Pixels stopped being OP.
Loser! You're a loser!
Another case of who? The Laser Eyes started the season doing fine. They were 6th after Event 3 due to some decent consistency, but were also 40 points behind first. However, 2 bottom 2 finishes in a row dropped them through the standings faster than Luzzer and Laser dropped through the tag team funnels. Bronze in the relay did help the Laser Eyes from becoming a complete joke in this quarter, though. The Laser Eyes slowly rose up a bit with 2 5th place finishes until Luzzer doomed your chances of a good season by somehow being the last elimination race finisher in both of the first 2 rounds. After that, well, they got a bullseye in curling. This would be Aura if it wasn't the Laser Eyes. Look, especially after the 3D Chaos League's most recent season, I do not want to see this team coming back anytime soon. Then again, it would have been preferred over Team Life.
The Blue Moon's cast an eye on your poverty franchise.
I had a hard time writing this segment. I just did not know what to say. I tried listening to something relaxing to help me out, but the compilation of Greg Wood saying Midnight Wisps wasn't helping this time around. The Blue Moons were just there this season, and that's not the worst fate to have. You could be there, after all. Honestly, the beginning of the season made the Blue Moons seem more impressive, with them being second after Event 5 and within a gold medal of the Time Watchers. Unfortunately, the next 6 events in a row, which is half the season by the way, were all bottom half finishes. This includes Rover getting stuck against the humble Cement Crack. Azure got a bronze in the final event, but it only brought them back up to 7th. It wasn't a bad season, far from it, but it could have been better. Then again, it was the best showing by an MSG team, although it did not translate into MSG Season 6. 13th place after winning a season. I cannot believe you right now.
Vive la France!
Unfortunately, the transition from 2D to 3D wasn't as easy for the John Jolts. The Johnny Jolts started decently with 5th in balancing, before immediately getting 5 bottom half finishes in a row, including last in sprint because of Captain Volt. The Jonathan Jolts spent a while in the basement, until Ampere got a silver into the water race. All it took was a commentator that people thought was French, I guess. Unfortunately, that would not help the Jontron Joltics out for the rest of the season, so they fell to 14th. It's never fun to be the worst of the Algodo teams, but better the Sir Jonington Joltsworths IIIs than the Patient Party. The Poseidons were a controversial pick for this season, and like most controversial picks, they did amazingly to shut up the haters. Seriously, Ramen's going to invite the Heliospheres for Season 5, and they'll probably be the first team to get top half overall for QML. The first 4 events were strange with them slingshotting up and down the standings. They stagnated for a bit before Tsunami dominated the uphill drag, and Wave dashed in at the last second in the water race, causing the Poseidons to be the first team to win back-to-back gold medals, bringing the team up to 3rd place. They were keeping up their podium pace until the biathlon, where Atlantic channeled their inner Team Atlantic. See, the joke is that they're trash. The Poseidons did pick up the pace in curling as they got their 3rd gold in the season. By the way, fuck you, Trident. How positively dare you do something strategic this event? You're just supposed to let the pastry party advance, you fools! Anyway, they were still in contention going to the marathon, and Neptune gave it their all, and after lap 4, it happened. The Poseidons were on pace to win the Marble Invites. Neptune then shit the bed for the rest of the event and got 14th place. Still good enough for 2nd overall and an impressive season, but not impressive enough for Arena Invite. Get fucked, Poseidons! Paintballer's gonna go nuts!
Stop the cap!
White caps, or like white craps, am I right? Why couldn't you get like 15th or something? The Whitecaps are finally here after years of fans complaining about the night to night. I'm not judging y'all, I was part of that crowd too. However, once the Whitecaps joined, they just kind of existed. The Whirlpool may have won MVM, but the rest of the team barely tried. The Whitecaps managed not 1, not 2, but 3 dead last finishes. That's the same as the Knights of Night in both of their seasons combined, who, by the way, are not slouches in this department. I feel like you just hate me, because the moment you hear that I'm commentating, you just stop attempting to compete. This season was filled with embarrassing moments, like Kappa taking a nap in Elimination Race, and the Whitecaps losing in block pushing, where they got last in every round in their heat. For reference, this heat had a Fiber Optic team, a Cat's Eye adjacent team, and multiple rounds where a team effectively pushed with only 3 marbles, and you lost to all of them. Maybe a 3rd season of with the Knights of Night would have been better. At least they know how to push blocks. We are 2 for 3 on good hosting performances. See, Surging Storms? There is an advantage to hosting. You're just fucking awful. The Diving Dolphins were always in the top 6, and consistently held an overall podium spot. The Dolphins showed up excellent teamwork with medals in tag team funnels and block pushing. Apparently, just being unfrosted was all this team needed to go crazy in that event. The Diving Dolphins were really just consistent, with only 1 lead Q point due to Baleen stinking it up in Elimination Race. Still, a respectable season and an excellent host job. Purple is a strange color for the graphics, but event theming is cool with the water race. Good work.
Team Pixie.
Hell fucking yes. For those unaware, Pixie is who I root for in KMC, so seeing them do well is absolutely wonderful. Granted, the nature of them being an individual normally makes their run here a bit awkward. Pixie is just the captain of the team, with 4 randos joining them. This is especially awkward since this team got a gold medal due to Fairy, who never existed in KMC, although I guess they could have been the Emerald Sprites member. This was never an issue with the Storm Chasers since all of them were shit, and the Banana Splits didn't have a member called Banana Splits. I assume when they compete in the Lucky Titan comp, they all just combine together to become Banana Split, Captain Planet style, only they're not the Big Mac Daddy of ecology. Anyway, it's not like Pixie did poorly. They got a silver in water race, and as the captain, they led the team well since they won the Captain's Championship. Overall, they had good moments, and 3 medals near the end of the season helped them stay in the title contention going into the final event. Unfortunately, Pixie is not very good in lap racing events. They lost to Turtle for peak's sake. 15th was probably pretty expected. Still, they kept the overall podium, so it was a great season, even if you were just replacements for Black Rose, who rightfully came back this season, even if I don't like it very much.
He's in a shopping center now, showing you how. Having fun as he aim. Hey, rap rat's the name.
Just when we thought QML reached rock bottom, you kept digging lower. Green Lotus last season set the bar extremely low, but the Cheeses treated this as a game of limbo. The Cheeses were the first QML team to ever be in the top half of the standings. It took 24 events and 2 1/3 of a season, but it finally happened for 2 whole events. Then they fell off hard. Even then, they were still as high as 12th after event 11. Captain Mozzarella just had to not be awful in the final event to avoid last. In 10 races, Mozzie had 7 in the bottom 4. 5 in the bottom 2. Half of the marathon had Mozzie in an actual tank bull. Unsurprisingly, that led to the Cheeses gang last in the event and then last overall. The moldy Cheeses weren't hopeless per se, but that's probably what makes this thing even more. Unlike with the Deep Divers and Green Lotus, potential was found early on in the season, but the Cheeses melted in the mid-season and did pretty expectedly. At least a controversial pick did relatively poorly this time. Maybe the Rosebloods are exactly what QML needs right now. Sure, you can celebrate your 6th place overall, but let's be real. It could have been so much better. Your second quarter was amazing with 2 golds and not getting last as a fiber optic team in block pushing. Following that up with a silver made the gap between you and the Time Watchers only 15 points, which is still a lot, but considering how much the Time Watchers were doing before, the gap being 15 points seemed miraculous. So what happened next? 0 top half finishes for the rest of the season. Sure, you could salvage something after the 11th and 10th in events 8 and 9, and you were still on the podium after the 14th in biathlon, but curling was just embarrassing. Gray gets a near button score that could help the team advance, especially since their opponents are the Golden Cheeses. So what did Shady do? Did they A, avoid Gray to get more points, B, avoid Gray and get no points, C, hit Gray causing the team to get no points, or D, go home and play Sonic Cross Worlds?
Hello, I am Shady of the Grayscales, and I'm here to play Sonic Cross Worlds. Now, I don't know much about Sonic, because Sonic is a dumb idiot baby game, but I have heard good things about this specific game, so we're gonna give it an honest, fair shot. C was also an acceptable option. Ultimately, the Grayscales fell off the podium and finished in 6th overall. Not a bad finish, but what could have been?
Hello, how are you? I am under the water.
Oh boy. So you won last season. Good job on that, I guess. But man, it did not feel like the same Abstract Aquatics. And they were literally the same team, mailed directly by the Emperor himself. All that to say, 12th? Really? That's 2 seasons in a row, where the defending champion not only gets 12th, but is also the worst of the returning teams. Last season, you tied for the most medals. This season, you had the least, with not a single medal to your name. Event 1, you immediately fall off when the balance beam stops being white. Wow, they're fucking rakish now too. They just can't stop being a fucking L. Wait, another dead last finish in an event Ramen commentated in? What, do they hate Asians now too? What the fuck, man? Wait, never mind, they got 6th in curling. Phew, turns out, just a coincidence. I'm watching you, though.
It's time to time.
Now this is how you make a return. After getting oh so close to winning last season, the Time Watchers dominated the field to make sure that nothing stops them from winning this time. They showed they meant business by winning balancing yet again, followed by a bronze, then another gold, then 4th, then another bronze. That's 5 top 4 finishes in the first 5 events. Relay was a bit slow, but uphill drag lets you get another bronze. 5 medals in 7 events. You then coasted a bit for the rest of the season, getting 0 medals afterwards. You still maintained a massive lead that was nearly insurmountable until event 11. Unfortunately, curling went awfully since the team understood that they had to knock the Abstract Aquatics off the board, but forgot they had to land on the board themselves. That's like if you knew how to end passant in chess, but didn't know what the horse piece does. The first laps of Marathon also seemed problematic, but luckily, the moment that the Poseidons had a chance of winning, Luna locked in and rose up to 8th, while Neptune fell to 14th. This led to an incredibly impressive championship, and an invite to Marble Invite Season 4. Sorry Asteroid Impact and Viridian Valorant fans, but unless the Time Watchers are silly in Season 4, your teams are not seeing a Marble Invites. With this win, the Time Watchers have become one of the most relevant custom comp teams. Like, if there was a Mount Rushmore of custom comp teams, they would be on it. They can be Teddy Roosevelt's. Anyway, 'twas an excellent season, and we hope to see you do well again in Season 4.
The points are gone.
So, this is funny. For the first time ever, a team from my competition, Biscuit Brawl, competed in the Marble Invites, and, it could have been better. Relay was unfortunate, and being the worst shooter in biathlon was rough, but we got a silver. That's cool. It's hard to talk shit about the pastry party since they're like my babies. You wouldn't go to your child's t-ball game just to insult your kid. Although that would mean this could be interpreted as me roasting every other kid in the t-ball game. And is 13th really that bad? The pastry party did fine. Their performance was fine. They were fine. And if that's fine by you guys, then it's fine by me. And I'm taking my fine body with my fine clothes and my fine crawl across this fine screen. And if you don't mind, I'm going back to my fine house and eat fine ice cream on the fine fucking floor. Finers, finders, fine. If you got that reference, I'm deeply sorry for the trauma you live with every day. And that was Marble Invite Season 3. Yes, I'm sorry again that this came late, but I appreciate all of y'all's patience. I would like to thank the entirety of the MSEC, especially Spenny, for hosting this season. And I'm also grateful that Quack is hosting next season, and I know Marble Invite Season 4 will be good. And I would like to give a shout out to Lazy Seal. No reason. I just felt like it. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Rip Biscuit, signing off.